obviously you had a little bit of extended practice time before Spain. What's the early look of the guys?
You know what? I'm excited. I like our group. We have a lot of new pieces, as you know, 9 new players, but they're energized and they're looking forward to starting the season.
Was this a good year to have one of those overseas trips? We've got a lot of new guys trying to learn to play with each other, and they obviously that extra practice time playing some competitive teams. Was this really a good year to do something like that?
I think it was. I think first and foremost, anytime you can take a team over and have that type of experience, culturally is important. And then, of course, playing the games is a bonus. But for these guys to see that there's a big world out there and see another culture is first and foremost for their education. And then basketball-wise, of course, having the ability to practice and play those games, especially with a whole new team, is something that I think our guys looked forward to, and I think we benefited from.
What was the level of competition of the teams you played in Spain, and how do you think your guys matched up?
I thought it was good competition. They were more all-star teams, not particularly teams that have been playing together for a while. So, you're not going to have as many plays being run, or the defensive schemes aren't in place because you have a lot of different players on an all-star team. But it still was good for our guys to play against someone other than themselves. They had practiced and competed against each other during the summer. So it's good to see some different bodies out there, a different style of play. I think that was helpful.
It's been a long time since we've seen another UCF point guard not named B.J. Taylor. So we got to meet Dazon a few minutes ago. How is he kind of mixed in with everybody?
You know what? He's been terrific. We're going to miss the players that have graduated, of course, and gone on. But I think he's really good from the standpoint. He's an experienced guard. He's played the position. He has a good feel for the game, and he's more of a pass-first point guard, so he made guys around him better. I think the guys really enjoy playing with him.
How has his offense changed without having Taco Fall on the court?
Without Taco on the floor, our offense has changed, probably drastically, because we don't have that low post presence that we once had before. When you have a guy like Taco, he consumed the paint. Now we have bigs that are a little more versatile, so they're not in there as much. So it's definitely a different look. I think you'll see when we start to play a different style, a different system.
How does your defense change now without Taco and Chad?
Same thing. I don't have Taco in the paint anymore, so that's something we have to tweak as well. We have to tweak what we do defensively. But we're excited about that. You can't replace a Taco, but he has such an impact around the basket. I mean, there are very few players in the world that can do that. But what we can do is we can still play UCF defense, being where we're supposed to be defensively, and everybody playing as hard as they can on every one of those possessions. So that's what we're trying to attain with our group now, is just the level of effort and energy that's going to be required for us to get a stop, not just counting on Taco to change or block a shot at the basket.
With the turnover in this lineup, have you changed how you go about coaching?
Yeah, I've had to. I've had those guys that I coached last year for 3 years, and so we've gotten to know each other very well. They kind of knew what to expect from me. I knew what to expect from them. Now with the addition of 9 new guys, I mean, there's a filling out process, and that's still going on. I mean, I've only had them for 3 or 4 months, so we're still filling each other out. They're getting to know kind of what my standards and expectations are here, what our culture is, and I'm getting to kind of change their limits. Some things that that may have been in their way, stopping them from being as successful as they could be. I'm trying to change those limits and move that bar a little higher for those guys. And they're receptive, so I'm excited about working with them.
Some of the guys indicated the offense would be faster paced than it had been the past couple of years. Is that kind of your preferred style of play? Is that kind of what you came here to? Obviously, you're going to tailor the offense to the players on the roster, but is that sort of what you envisioned when you got here, to play an offense like that?
Yeah, we did. We thought we'd play more, a faster tempo, and we thought we'd end up, playing more down the court defensively. And of course, a team just wasn't built that way, and so you have to find a way to maximize the group that you have. And so I thought for that team, that was the best thing. I think, going forward for us, at least right now in the short term, I think what's best for this group is our depth and ability to maybe get up and down the floor a little bit more and utilize, their abilities in the open floor.
Last year this team was the hunted in the conference, and now that's not going to be the case heading into this year. Do you feel like guys who are back, like Colin or Caesar, maybe carry a chip on their shoulder and try to prove it wrong this season?
Absolutely. I would hope they have a chip on their shoulder. I mean, these guys are really good basketball players, and it's their time now. It's their opportunity to kind of carry the torch for our program. So I'm excited for them. I know they're excited, and I think based on everything I've seen this summer from those guys, they're improving, that they've gotten better, and I think they're ready to lead.
Who do you see emerging as the leaders on this team?
It's difficult to say right now. Right now for us because we're still only through our third practice of official practice this year. But guys, I think like Colin Smith, who played a key role for us, pivotal role for us at times, and started for us almost every game, has got to be one of the guys I think will lead. He's one of our captains, as well as Matt Milan, who's come in and has been great from the standpoint of a culture guy. He wasn't from our culture, but he's fit right in seamlessly. His ability to come in and lead by example, always working on his game, always doing great in the class. I mean, guys like that are natural leaders for us. And then I look at guys like Caesar, who's also been with me quite some time now. He's been with me my entire time here. So it's time for him to, step up into a role like that for us. And a young man that we voted for a captain, and his first time that it's ever happened in my history of coaching and playing, is Levy. Levy was voted one of our captains. He was walked on our team and is only a sophomore. So that says a lot about, what he's done, with regards to his relationship with his teammates and how much they trust him. So those are kind of the guys that I think the leadership will come from initially, and then other guys will grow into their roles as they get more comfortable with us. Some of the newer guys who still are trying to find their way, I think will start to step into some of them roles as well.
You guys redshirted Dre last year. What kind of impact do you see Dre having this season?
I think Dre can have an immediate impact for us. I mean, he's such a versatile player with his length, his athleticism, his skill set. I think he can have a pivotal role because he can play multiple positions, and players like that in our system, are really I think really excel. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he adjusts in what we do. But it's good to have him out there, and he's gotten better. He's bigger, he's stronger, and I think he's playing with a good deal of confidence right now. So we got to keep building on that.
You talked about how Matt Milan fits so well in the culture, but on the court, how necessary is it to have his shooting ability replacing Aubrey and BJ?
Yeah, we could use some shooting, and he's one of those guys that we know is capable of knocking down shots. So he definitely, was recruited with that in mind, that we'd have a guy that could come in and, be in position where we can put him on the floor and know that whoever's defending him has to guard him because he's such a terrific shooter. They have to stay with him all the time. So we're excited to have him out there to help really us space the floor and to play the way we want to play.
Would this turnover biggest challenge of your coaching career, assembling a lineup?
You know what? I'd have to think long and hard about that one. I've had some challenges, during my 12 years now, going on 12 years. But it's right up there, with 9 new players. That's probably where the biggest difference is. When you're bringing in that many new guys, I mean, your roster is almost completely turned over. And so when that happens, there's a lot of adjusting, a lot of teaching for us as coaches. I mean, just think none of those guys know our system offensively. None of them know our system defensively. So there's a big learning curve for all those guys. But that's what I love to do. I love to teach. I love to work. So we're in position to do that with this group. As long as they keep bringing the energy and the enthusiasm, like you hear me say often, if they're doing that, we'll do our part and we'll keep moving them in the right direction. But I'm excited to see what they're capable of doing because they worked very hard this offseason in preparation, and we're looking forward to getting started.
How has it been watching your son and some of the former players go to the NBA and go through that process of trying to make a roster?
It's been great to see all of our guys go through that process, and all of our guys, whether they've gone overseas, like Dayon went to Dubai, and so that's great, to see where he's headed. Chad, BJ, these guys all, end up going to different places in the G League. Aubrey and, Taco, of course, are in veterans camp and see what happens with them. But it's a great opportunity for these guys to move forward now. It's been a dream of all of those players, and now it's there for them. So I'm pulling for them to all be